Hi, this is Sarah Connor again, and this is my continuation of my presentation of my community in words and pictures. Here is when I was talking about important institutions in my community. Here are the list of informal institutions, which you have here: Little League, midget football, neighborhood centers, Not by Choices Outreach, which is a cancer head covering and support group, youth soccer, Kiwanis, Eagles Lodge, Elks, Discovering Archery, which is for grades 1 through 8. We have our YMCA, which also holds our Hardin County pool. And you can also see there's also like our Lions Club, Crossroads Crisis Center, Love Inc., farmers markets. We have 5 parks / like skate parks / parks. We also have holiday parades, pretty much for every holiday you can imagine. Key elements of a good community. I listed here the major ones that the article talked about, the Ohio State article on seeking a good community. With regards to natural disasters, for talking about safety, my community is relatively safe in this aspect. We do have tornadoes, so we have our tornado warning system that, as a community, you become accustomed to hearing being tested every Wednesday at 12 p.m. The town of Kenton doesn't have any issues with like flooding or anything like that, so we have no flood walls or emergency shelters for those purposes. Overall, my community is typically prepared for natural disasters. For the size of the town, Kenton is there's a significant amount of traffic, though, through our downtown area. Due to Kenton's placement between the larger communities, such as Columbus and like Chicago, Fort Wayne, and those areas, a lot of semi-traffic goes through the city, and most of them go straight through the downtown area. Overall, I would have to say that our water and air quality is adequate for our community. Lastly, and most significantly, with regards to safety, is that of crime. As you saw in previous slide, Kenton in 2014, according to citydata.com, had just under the national average of crime index, with a significant amount of thefts followed by burglaries. In the 2 years since, the rates have stayed steadily with a significant or a slight increase due to increase in drug use in the community. Overall, with regards to crime, Kenton, for its size, has a problem with crime. The community does have a 911 system as well as adequate police and sheriff's personnel in the community. Going on to goods and services, I would say that overall Kenton does pretty well in this area. We have several local stores for food and clothing resources, as well as being a rural farming community. Kenton has plenty of homegrown foods. The part of that Kenton is lacking in this area is in employment availability. There are 2 good-sized factories that employ a significant portion of the community, but if you don't want to work in a factory, your options are limited, and because of this, many will travel outside to the larger surrounding communities. Next, here's the relationship that binds citizens together with regards to that aspect. Overall, I would say that Kenton does pretty well in this area. If you grew up here, you grew knowing everyone. Kenton has a significant amount of second and third generation families in the community. Being from this small town, this could be a negative at times due to everyone knowing you and your family, so nothing is kept private. Commonality of values and goals. I would say, assuming that our community had common goal, I always assumed that our community had common goals and values, though I was surprised during my research that a significant amount of our citizens don't identify with a religious affiliation. Growing up here, I believed that everyone went to one or another of the many churches here in our community. Whole person principles, I would have to say that when I grew up, you knew more about the people in the community. Now that I had been gone for the last 16 years, I feel like now it's different. I don't know many of the community people that are throughout, like, working in our community, unless I work with them with regards to my my employment. Predictability, I would say that Kenton is quite predictable most of the time. Throughout the year, specific events happen at the same time every year, such as going to high school football games on Friday nights, county fair in September, festivals and parades throughout the year, for every holiday. Recognizing places, being a recognizable place in your social structure. I think overall most people can recognize their place in the social structure of Kenton. There's not much anonymity in Kenton. Everyone knows everyone else, from the mayor to the homeless man that sits out on the corner outside of the Subway restaurant playing his guitar and waving at everyone that drives past. And that's something that you just learn to accept. Opportunities. Like I said before, Kenton is lacking in some areas of opportunity available. We have plenty of churches and parks. There's one theater and a drive-in theater. It's also, which is used for amusement. We have libraries and radio stations, but like I said, employment is lacking in our community. Homogeneity. I would say that Kenton's pretty well in this area. I guess you can say we're predominantly white, with very few other cultures. Kenton is also a rural community that at times seems stuck in their in earlier times. I would say overall, I would say that Kenton is not a good or bad community. There are many things that it's lacking and many things that in the community that are good. I feel this is common in many communities across the U.S. Well, I want to thank you for listening. Sorry this went a little longer than I expected, but I wanted to try to get everything in, and I do appreciate you sticking around for me. Here's my references that where I got all my information. Thanks.